I'm going to continue reading from the introduction of Bhagavad Gita. Would somebody like to read it? Or you want me to read it?
If somebody is not, then I can read if you want me to.
Okay. Yes, please.
Okay. The complete whole, the personality of Godhead, has immense potencies. Parasya Shaktir Vividhe Shruyate. How Krishna is acting in different potencies is also explained in Bhagavad Gita. This phenomenal world or material world in which we are placed is also complete in itself, because 24 elements of which this material universe is a temporary manifestation, according to Sankhya philosophy, are completely adjusted to produce complete resources which are necessary for the maintenance and subsistence of this universe. There is nothing extraneous, nor is there anything needed. This manifestation has its own time, fixed by the energy of the Supreme Whole, and when its time is complete, these temporary manifestations will be annihilated by the complete arrangements of the complete. There is complete facility for the small complete units, namely for the living entities, to realize the complete, and all sorts of incompleteness are experienced due to incomplete knowledge of the complete. So, Bhagavad Gita contains the complete knowledge of Vedic wisdom.
So here, Prabhupada is explaining to us that Krishna, we have to try to understand that Krishna, he has a lot of these potencies. It's not that God is not potent. We call God omnipotent, right? So he has these potencies, these energies. And so this material world is also one of his energy. And we have been reading now Bhagavatam here on this Sankhya philosophy. Kapila Dev is going to explain it in detail, how this material world is made up of these 24 elements. So these 24 elements, where are they coming from? They're coming from Krishna. Krishna is the creator. Now, this entire universe, it's with this 24 elements, is a complete unit. We do not need to import anything else from the other universe. It's just that human beings, because of our own greed and mismanagement, we are exploiting the resources of this Mother Earth. But otherwise, it is perfectly equipped to meet all the requirements of each and every living entity. Each and every living entity. And it's not that we have to manufacture air to breathe. No, air is available. It's not that we have to manufacture sunshine. Sunshine is available. The rains are available. It's just we don't know how to live with nature. So we spoil the balance of the nature, and that's why comes the imbalances. But otherwise, anything and everything that is needed for the maintenance of the body is there, is already been provided for. So that's why there is complete facility for the small complete units, namely the living entities, to realize the complete, and all sorts of incompleteness are experienced due to incomplete knowledge of the complete. So we are not able to, we do not have knowledge of the Supreme Lord. We don't understand our position. We don't understand the position of the material energy. And we don't understand the position of the Supreme Lord. And that is what causes the problem. Nothing else. There is no other problem. It is just that. So how do we get this knowledge? It's from Bhagavad Gita. Did you want to add anything to that, or any comments to what we read? This comes in the Sri Isopanishad, no? The Om Purnamada Purnamidam.
The first one.
Yeah, the invocation.
Yeah.
Invocation. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's clear. All Vedic knowledge is infallible and Hindus accept Vedic knowledge to be complete and infallible. For example, cow dung is the stool of an animal, and according to Smriti or the Vedic injunctions, if one touches the stool of an animal, he has to take a bath to purify himself. But in the Vedic scriptures, cow dung is considered to be a purifying agent. One might consider this to be contradictory, but it is accepted because it is Vedic injunctions. And indeed, by accepting this, one will not commit a mistake. Subsequently, it has been proved by modern science that cow dung contains all antiseptic properties. So Vedic knowledge is complete because it is above all doubts and mistakes, and Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all Vedic knowledge.
So now we can understand that our knowledge, whatever we have, we think we have very good knowledge. We go to schools, universities, and we think that that's the perfect knowledge. But you know how the education system changes, what we learned when we were in school, and if we were to open the books now, it's different. So many things are so different. So the material knowledge is always, what do you say, incomplete. It is only according to time, place, and circumstance. It's not eternal knowledge. It's not infallible knowledge. It's not that knowledge which can help us at every given point of time. Of course, Vedic knowledge, it includes all knowledge. Vedic knowledge helps us to live in this world in the most peaceful manner, and at the same time learn about spiritual knowledge, so that at the end of life we don't need to come back again and can go back home, back to Godhead. So this knowledge, where do we get it from? How to live peacefully here and how to cultivate spiritual knowledge? It's coming from the Vedas. Vedas, and Vedic knowledge is complete and infallible. Why? Because it's spoken by the most perfect authority, and that is Lord Krishna. And Bhagavad Gita, he is speaking the instructions personally. So Bhagavad Gita is called the Gita-Upanishad, the essence of all the Upanishads. So Prabhupada is putting an example here, cow dung. Cow dung is very pure. People before would use cow dung to purify the houses, antiseptic agent. Cow dung is so pure that even for deity worship it is used. But if we see the general injunction, if you touch the stool of an animal, you have to take immediately a shower. But here we are saying cow dung is pure. How do we know? It's mentioned in the Vedas. And now the scientists are proving, yes, cow dung is actually pure. So this is how the Vedic knowledge, we just have to accept it. We have to receive it because it is, as is mentioned here, complete and infallible. So if we say, no, 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 Krishna does not have good knowledge, my knowledge is better than Krishna's, that we are being foolish. We are being foolish because we have 4 defects. Krishna has no defects. So of course, our knowledge is defective and his knowledge is perfect. We just have to hear it and we have to follow it. That's all we have to do. Anyone had any questions on that or any comments on that? About Vedic knowledge? If no, then we'll continue reading. Vedic knowledge. Would anyone like to read?
I can read.
Okay.
Vedic knowledge is not a question of research. Our research work is imperfect because when we are searching, when we are researching things with imperfect senses, we have to accept perfect knowledge which comes down as is stated in Bhagavad Gita by the parampara disciplic succession. We have to receive knowledge from the proper source in disciplic succession, beginning with the supreme spiritual master, the Lord himself, and handed down to a succession of spiritual masters. Arjuna, the student who took lessons from Lord Krishna, accepts everything that he says without contradicting him. One is not allowed to accept one portion of Bhagavad Gita and not another. No, we must accept Bhagavad Gita without interpretation, without deletion, and without our own whimsical participation in the matter. The Gita should be taken as the most perfect presentation of Vedic knowledge. Vedic knowledge is received from transcendental sources, and the first words were spoken by the Lord Himself. The words spoken by the Lord are called Aparusheya, meaning that they are different from words spoken by a person of the mundane world who is infected with four defects. A mundaner is sure to commit mistakes, is invariably illusioned, has the tendency to cheat others, and is limited by imperfect senses. With these four imperfections, one cannot deliver perfect information of all-pervading knowledge.
And so we think, oh, I have perfect knowledge. I know. We think that, Some of us, we think, oh, whatever I know is the most correct. But we don't realize that we have defects. And our defects are, one, we are sure to commit mistakes. Two, we are in illusion. We are in illusion. We don't know who we are. Three, we have a tendency to cheat others. And four, our senses are so limited. Our senses are imperfect. So because of these four, we cannot, manufacture, or we cannot be the one to give perfect knowledge. So how can we get this perfect knowledge? We have to receive it. Who do we have to receive it? We have to receive it from the perfect person. Who is the perfect person? That is the Supreme Lord Himself, Lord Sri Krishna. He's the one, He's the original speaker of the Vedas. And that is the way to receive spiritual knowledge. That it is spoken by Krishna. Krishna gave it to his devotee Brahmaji. Brahmaji spoke it to Narad Muni. Narad Muni gave it to Vyasadeva. Like that, in the disciplic succession, in the parampara. So the message, the knowledge remains intact. The knowledge is not misinterpreted. So that the knowledge is not mixed up with other materialistic ideas, so that we can receive it in full purity. Now, we may say, I like the part where Krishna is saying something in Bhagavad Gita, but another part, I don't like it at all. But that's not the way to understand Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada would say that is the philosophy of saying that I like only the backside of the hen. Why? Because that part of the hen gives me eggs, but I don't like the mouth of the hen because I have to feed. So let me cut the hen, and I like the backside, and that's what I will keep it. But by doing that, we have no hen at all. We have no hen. Similarly, when we are hearing Bhagavad Gita, we have to accept the full Bhagavad Gita. We can't say, I like these particular verses only, and I reject everything else. No. We have to accept the entire Bhagavad Gita as Sri Krishna spoke it and as Arjuna understood it. Is that all right?
Yeah.
And we can see our research work, we do PhD, we do some thesis, another after some years, somebody will come and say, oh, this research is wrong. So our research work is imperfect. Then how are we going to get the perfect knowledge of spiritual reality? We receive it, we hear it from the perfect sources. So Vedic knowledge has to be received. It has to be heard with submission, with attention. The Vedas are not trying to cheat us. Krishna is not trying to cheat us. We just have to accept, hear it, and accept it and follow it.
Should I continue?
Please.
Vedic knowledge is not imparted by such defective living entities. It was imparted unto the heart of Brahma, the first created living being, And Brahma, in his turn, disseminated this knowledge to his sons and disciples as he originally received it from the Lord. The Lord is Purnam, all perfect, and there is no possibility of his becoming subjected to the laws of material nature. One should therefore be intelligent enough to know that the Lord is the only proprietor of everything in the universe, and that he is the original creator, the creator of Brahma. In the 11th chapter, the Lord is addressed as Prapitamaha, because Brahma is addressed as Pitamaha, the grandfather, and he is the creator of the grandfather. So no one should claim to be the proprietor of anything. One should accept only things set aside for him by the Lord as his quota for his maintenance.
So we just heard that living entities, we have 4 kinds of defects. Now, if we have these 4 kinds of defects, so we are incapable of speaking perfect knowledge. And then, as we said, that this knowledge, Krishna gave this knowledge to Brahmaji. He was the he's the first created being in the universe. And Brahmaji, as we said, he gave it to Narad Muni, Narad Muni gave it to Vyasadev, and so on and so forth. So the Supreme Lord, we may say, okay, you are saying I have defects. I cannot speak Vedic knowledge. Why can Lord do that? How come he can give perfect knowledge and I cannot give perfect knowledge? Why? Because he is all perfect. He never forgets his identity. He never comes under illusion. He never thinks he's the material body. He never forgets who he truly is. But we forget. Right now, we are thinking we are the bodies, but are we the body? That's not our true identity. So, this is what we have to try to understand, that who is the one who's creating everything? Under whose order this wonderful universe is working in such a perfect order? Who's the one? We see if in any organization, also in any business, for things to work smoothly, there's someone, there's a manager, there's a person who's organizing everything, everyone's activities, coordinating. So who is that one? The universe is perfectly working. Who is that one? So if we try to understand, that is the Supreme Lord. So Arjuna is saying to the Supreme Lord, he's saying to Krishna that you are Prapitamaha. You are the father of Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma is Pitamaha, but who is he coming from? He's coming from Krishna. So Krishna is the proprietor of everything, and we are falsely thinking everything belongs to me. So Isopanishad says that we should accept only those things which are set aside for our quota, because nothing belongs to us, but the Supreme Lord is kind. He's providing for our maintenance. So he's saying, yes, take how much ever you need, but don't be greedy and don't take other people's share. That is what is being said here. So the design of the material nature, would anyone like to speak that how the nature is so perfect, how everything is going on in such a perfect manner?
Yeah, like we see the gravity, we see the planets that move. It is like the earth that is placed at a perfect distance from the sun, and how everything is provided, the water, the air that is needed for the humans to breathe, and the food, how every seed, how every tree has fruits, how it grows so beautifully. And an apple tree will always produce an apple only, it doesn't produce the mangoes. And how the soil is so perfectly there that no matter you sow a chili or an apple seed simultaneously just next to each other, but still they never uh, the chilies are chilies and apples are apples. It doesn't affect. So everything is so beautifully done. Even like all the animals are in, like how humans and animals and everything is so properly arranged. The
Yeah.
rain, like how the water evaporates from the ocean, it flows, then how it is filtered by the sun, it comes down as the water that we can drink, and how it is stored in the mountains, and as a river it flows. So how everything is so properly arranged and managed.
Mm. So do you think this arrangement just happened by itself? The one
No,
day
it is
was
done by
happening?
Krishna.
Mm.
No, it
Yeah.
is done by Krishna.
Yeah, because we don't think, we have never seen that we go to sleep at night, there was nothing there in the evening. And when we get up, oh, everything is there so perfect. No, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, as you rightly said and beautifully described, how Krishna is perfectly, he has perfectly created this universe.
And then I also remember one more example. You always say that, okay, if we put the cement, the stones, and everything together, the mortar and everything, the cement mixer, so can it produce the building by itself? There has to be a creator.
Yeah, yes. There has to be a creator. And who is that creator?
Krishna.
Yeah, the creator is Krishna. Nice, very beautifully said. Thank you. So shall we read a bit more?
Yeah.
Okay.
There are many examples given of how we are to utilize those things which are set aside for us by the Lord. This is also explained in the Bhagavad Gita. In the beginning, Arjuna decided that he should not fight in the battle of Kurukshetra. This was his own decision. Arjuna told the Lord that it was not possible for him to enjoy the kingdom after killing his own kinsmen. This decision was based on the body because he was thinking that the body was himself and that his bodily relations or expansions were his brothers, nephews, brothers in law, grandfathers, and so on. Therefore, he wanted to satisfy his bodily demands. Bhagavad Gita was spoken by the Lord just to change this view. And at the end, Arjuna decides to fight under the directions of the Lord when he says, Karishye vachanam tava, I shall act according to your word.
So we will think why Arjuna is pure devotee of Krishna, why he became bewildered. How can it be possible? He was put into illusion by Krishna so that Krishna could speak the Bhagavad Gita for our benefit. So what are we always thinking? We are always thinking, I am this body, all my relatives, they are mine. All the things that I'm seeing, they belong to me. Arjuna was not in that consciousness, but he's put into that consciousness. So when he's put in that consciousness, he starts saying, oh, I'm not going to fight. If I fight, what will happen to my family? I'm going to get sinful reactions. What's going to happen? My attachment, my body, my demands. So Krishna put him in that so that he could speak the Bhagavad Gita for us. And after Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita, Arjun understood what Krishna is saying. It was a matter of maybe 40 minutes or an hour and a half, whatever. But Arjuna understood the Bhagavad Gita, and then he said, yes, Krishna, I will do whatever you are telling me to do. I will, because he got the full knowledge. He understood the full knowledge. So Bhagavad Gita is meant for us. We need to hear it again and again. We are not on the level of Arjuna, and so we are not able to get it in half an hour, of 1 hour, or 1.5 hours. But we need to hear it again and again and again and again, and we will understand it. The more we try to understand it, the more we will be able to understand it. And we need to chant also. We need to chant. And by hearing and chanting, we will understand the message that Krishna is giving to us by speaking this Bhagavad Gita. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you want to add anything?
No.
No?
No.
So, Yeah, so we continue here.
Like even after giving this knowledge to Arjuna, what Krishna said that I have told you everything. Now it is up to you to decide what you have to do. And then Arjuna says, I will do whatever you say. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That
true.
is like even after giving the whole knowledge, whatever is there in the Bhagavad Gita, it's full and final. Then also he says, it's your wish now whether to follow it or no.
Yeah.
So that
Yes,
is the
that's right.
most humble, what do you say?
Free will, that he has given us a free will.
Yeah, and that's the humility of Lord Krishna. Is
Yeah,
it right? Yeah.
that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Both of you are right. Krishna's humility and Krishna's free will that he has given to us, that he never forces us to do anything. He wants us to do it by our free will, our choice. That's right. Thank you so much. And Arjuna used his free will in the most correct manner. He used it in a correct manner for the pleasure of Krishna. So the choice, we also have choice at every moment, to use our free will. That's what Krishna is giving us also the choice. We may think, no, I don't have it. No, we have. Krishna is giving everyone the choice. When we are hearing and chanting, we are acting according to the will of Krishna. He says in Bhagavad Gita, Man mana bhava mad bhakto, always think of me, become my devotee. He's saying that. So by hearing and chanting, we are doing that. And gradually, if we can do more and more activities for the pleasure of Krishna, then that is our success. That is our success. So should we stop here for today?
Yeah.
And you wanted to add anything or share anything else? Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for joining in. Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.